Monday Night Football here at pregame.tv. The Texans at the New York Jets. The Texans an 8-point favorite after opening up 7. The total sits at 41. And Bryan, we're going to start with you. There's talk of Tim Tebow getting a start in this one. What's funny about this is, according to Cantor Racing Sports, they say that this makes no difference. Right. You don't gain anything, you don't lose anything with Tebow and Sanchez. They're calling these two even. And then the loss of Santonio Holmes for the season, you know how much that means to the line? 0. Nada when it comes to this number. So Cantor Racing Sports books giving no respect to Tebow or Sanchez or Santonio Holmes, and I happen to think they're absolutely right.
They are right here, and it's interesting. I can't see how Tebow would be starting in this game. There's no reason to do it. You've got a bye coming up in a couple of weeks. After the bye is when you bring him in. You've got to change your entire offense to have him in there, so I think that's just a lot of talk. The situation right here is Houston's a better team. We all know Houston's a better team. Mm-hmm. The Jets are an embarrassed team off a 34-0 game. Now they're playing on national TV Monday night. They're without their best defensive player, without their best playmaker. Not that he's a good playmaker. Right. He's their best playmaker. Yeah. But this is their season right here. I mean, I don't want to make generalizations, but every guy who's a casual fan is going to jump all over Houston in this game. The pros came out the line, opened at basically 7. Mm-hmm. The pros took out all the 7s. It's up to 8. You know, they're moving it up. They knew what the public was going to take. This is the biggest game of the season for the Jets right here.
Yeah, and it's like 85 to 90% one-sided ticket action right now, Marco, on the Houston Texans, as Bryan just said. But, you know, Houston, obviously the very public team. They come in 4-0. They're on an 18-5 spread run, by the way, guys, over the last 23 games. The problem for me, and I'm looking for reasons to take the underdog in this one, the problem for me is the reason Tim Tebow found success with the Denver Broncos is because Fox and the coaching staff changed. Complete overhaul of the Denver offense and completely changed it to fit the quarterback and the style of play that can benefit his team and allow this team to possibly win football games, and they did. Is Spreitzer, who's had success as an offensive coordinator in the past, are they going to all of a sudden in this next few days leading up to this game, the week off that they had, or not a week off that they had, but a week to prepare since the last game, are they going to be able to all of a sudden with that mindset change everything they've been doing on offense? And if Tebow plays a lot, the majority of this game, if he does start, which we're cutting this midweek before the Monday night game, so we're not sure if he's going to start or not. There's rumors he is. They're going to have to change this offense quite a bit for Tim Tebow to be in his comfort zone. Doesn't that have to factor into your handicapping in this one? It certainly does mine.
It does, and it makes it a game that right now, you know, for me, I got to wait till Monday to see where I'm going to line up. But I can't look at it that way with the Jets. I agree with you, Bryan. I think it would be a mistake to make this change this week. You got to do it coming off of the bye week when you can work for 2 weeks on what you need to do. The thing that I'm looking at, and we always talk about value. First off, if you just want to go old school, this would be an automatic play. Monday Night Football, home underdog. You bet it blindly.
You're talking old school.
We're talking, remember back in the good old days in the 80s? Yeah. That was like free money.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Back when we had hair like Bryan.
Yeah, and I was skinny back then, too.
Really?
We're going way back.
When you were 16, you were a handicapper?
I actually started when I was 17. But this is a situation, you talk about value. Right now, I'm going to ask you two guys. Houston's one of the best teams in the league. I think they're one of the 3 best. I have them in my top 3. Another team that I have in my top 3 is the San Francisco 49ers. Sure. If I turn to you two guys and I say, on a neutral field, right now, what's the line between Houston and San Francisco? What would you make it?
Boy, it's going to be real close to pick 'em if I make the line, not having to worry. You're talking about not having to worry as a sports book director, not having to put up a number.
You're putting
right around pick 'em. And the reason is, and I'll give you a real quick reason before you ask Bryan, is that those are the 2 teams that force everybody else to play their game style for the most part. I mean, Minnesota caught San Francisco, I think, at the right time. But what we've seen so far this year, what we saw out of Frisco last year, is that you've got to win playing their style of football, and both teams fit that mode.
Yeah, Bryan knows where I'm going with this.
Exactly.
You've taken my notes away
going off of last week. And,
you look at the. Well, I don't want to steal your thunder, but basically these teams are even.
They're even, and yet last week's line, was 4, closed 3.5 a lot of places.
Sure.
We're looking at 8. So you're telling me right now they're trying to tell us that Houston's 4.5 points better than San Francisco? No. But they're saying that in 1 week the Jets became 4.5 points worse.
Well, that's the public all of a sudden is betting into a line that's, like you just said, up to 4.5 points different from where it was with San Francisco. And the only difference is that they've lost San Antonio Holmes and Mark Sanchez might not play as much. And we already know, as we just said at the top of the video, that those players mean absolutely nothing. What I want to ask you guys, because we're kind of all on the same page here, waiting to see how much Tebow is going to play or not. And we really shouldn't, to tell you the truth. But the bottom line is, what do you think about the total? Either one of you guys got to play on the total. It's 80% being bet on the over right now. Total sitting right around 41.
Well, you usually find your Monday Night Football games going over unless there's really two excellent defensive teams. I would tend to go with the under because I don't think the Jets are going to win this game in a shootout. We've already seen they don't score a lot of points. So I'd have to lean towards the under. But my question is, when do we play this game? I can't see this line going anywhere but up.
Yeah, that's good talk. I mean, definitely good stuff. It's my best bet, and I'm going to get to that right now. I get so excited. I love to say best bet over and over. It's actually my free pick on Monday night.
I let you know on Tuesday if this was your best bet, right?
Come back and see us next week. No, anyway, I got to tell you, Bryan, I like the under in this one, and I'm going to go against all the bets right now. Like I said, 80% at Sportsbook Spy, taking the over. Here you got a Jets offense that last week totaled 145 yards against a San Francisco defense. Sanchez all over the place again, well below 50% as far as his passing is concerned. Might have had his worst game against San Francisco. I don't know how he's going to be much better here, especially since he's hearing, even if Tebow doesn't play, it's constantly over his shoulder. Tim Tebow, he's going to come in. The crowd's chanting Tebow, and I'm not so sure that Mark Sanchez is the strongest guy between the years already as it is. So anyway, for those reasons, I don't think the Jets are going to be able to score a lot of points. What they're going to do is, I think, put the onus of this game, their chances to win, on that defense. And even though they don't have Darrelle Revis, I still think it's a situation where they try their best to attack Schaub, slow down the running game, and try to force Schaub to win a game that he doesn't normally like to do, which is putting the entire onus of the offense on his shoulders, as good as he is. So again, I'm going to take the under here. I think you're going to see a lower scoring game than most people think. That's my free pick. He's Bryan Leonard. He's Marco D'Angelo. That takes care of Week 5 of the NFL. For pregame.tv, be sure to join us for more college football and NFL next week.